We're still smack dab in the middle of eclipse season. So this is the energy forecast for Monday, September the 13th. And I'm going to do a quick check-in here. Teresa, if you could post below and let me know that my sound is okay. I'm experimenting with improving the quality of my sound. A couple of people said it's hard to hear when I do my lives. So I'm just double checking and making sure that the sound is working because I don't know. I'll start talking and I'll forget to check. So awesome. Okay, so it is Monday, September the 13th, 15th, 13th. What? I had it right a minute ago. The 15th. It is Monday, September the 15th. We have a really exciting masterclass series that starts today. So today, starting at, I get all my times correct today, at 11 a.m. Central. Today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, we have a 3-day masterclass series, Harmony at Home. We're going to be talking about human design, parenting, grandparenting, educating children, also even healing our own inner child. We're going to be talking about looking at how we grow and evolve as humans through the lens of human design. Today, I'm going to give you all a broad overview of what's up on the planet and why does that impact the way in which we do families. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the evolution of the energy field and why developmentally understanding the way the aura develops, the energy field develops, is essential to raising resilient children or doing our own inner healing work. On Wednesday, we're going to talk about the mistaken motivations that people have when they misbehave, including children, because a lot of us never learned to appropriately ask for what we need and want. So we're going to look at the human design chart, use your chart kind of as a tool to decode some of your core essential needs, because we all have different needs, and really explore, are you getting your needs met appropriately, or have you learned hidden, secret, sometimes not so healthy ways of getting your core energetic needs met? So join us. Teresa's going to post the link below. I also want to just let you know that today we are opening up registration for the Family Coach Certification Training Program. This is a program we do every 2 years. So this is, we'll be opening it up this year. We won't teach it again for another 2 years. So if you're interested in learning how to use human design to help families, now's your chance, because we've got an extensive, amazing program that's open. It's one of our most popular professional training programs. It includes quantum human design levels 1 and level 2. So if you're brand new, it's available to you. You can start off. If you've never known human design before, you can do it. If you already know human design, you can already join us too, and you're going to learn a lot of things about children and parents and parenting and inner child work, and how you can use this information to support the growth of future generations. I just spent the weekend with my grandsons. We went to the Vernon County Fair. So it's pretty heavy sitting really heavily in a beautiful way in my heart, how cool it is to be stewards for the future through our children. All right, we got a big week. We got a really big week. And, you know, we've been in this eclipse season, this eclipse crunch. We just came through a couple of weeks ago a lunar eclipse, a Pisces eclipse. We're moving into a partial solar eclipse on Sunday. That's going to be Virgo. So we're in this Pisces Virgo axis. This is the second set of eclipses in this Pisces Virgo axis. So, you know, Pisces and Virgo are really interesting together, I think. You know, Pisces is emotion, and it's, you know, big picture ideas and downloads, and not necessarily reason and logic, right? It's the big feels, the big juicy stuff. It's also creativity and faith, right? We've been really moving into this deeper understanding as we evolve that the quality of our emotional energy is an important part of our creative power. And certainly the Pisces Virgo axis reminds us that our emotions are important. Our emotions are showing us how to navigate what's ahead. And actually our emotions are our body's way of letting us know, does this feel right or not? Which is something most of us need to heal, right? Part of the deconditioning process primarily is about getting you back in your body, getting you back into that space where you can feel viscerally, emotionally, physically, intuitively. You can feel what feels right for you and what doesn't. So much of strategy and authority is really about getting you back into that body space, getting you back into a relationship with your body so that you can trust yourself, trust your body. I can't think of a more important thing to understand how to do right now, how to navigate right now during this really uncertain time. Things are shifting. Things are shifting so quickly. I was thinking last night, as I was sort of thinking about how am I going to start the Masterclass series today. I was thinking about my youngest son, and he's 30 now, almost 30 now, but when he was a teenager, he got really heavily addicted in online gaming. And I was a full-time single parent at that time. I didn't have any understanding of what was happening on the internet, right? I grew up without the internet. I grew up without a computer. I didn't even get a computer till my second year in college. I got a big giant word processor that was so heavy I couldn't even carry it, right? And this kid was living in a very different world than the world that I understood. And I had to navigate that world with this kid, albeit not always successfully. He's really great now. Now he's married to an amazing woman. He's getting ready to buy a condo. He's in college. He's done amazing things. So the story ends well. But, I had to really trust my gut in how to navigate that time. And certainly for all of us, this is a time when we have to not look out here, because man, if you start trying to find your data out here, it's nuts right now. There's so much information flowing in, that is so divergent and so, I don't know, it's nuts. There's a lot of stuff flying around in the outer world in terms of information. If you don't know how to drop into your body and feel what feels good and right and what doesn't, which is a big theme of our eclipse, by the way. How do we trust our gut? How do we trust our connection to our heart? Really, it's really the heart, not so much the gut. How do we trust the connection to the heart? How do we trust our own intuitive sense of what's right and what's wrong, of what's going on, and what do we need to do, and how do we need to navigate it, and what's right for us individually, which is really huge. What's right for us individually. So the sun starts us off this week, highlighting the gate 6. The earth grounds us in the gate 36. These two gates have been playing out in the celestial weather for the last couple of years. And these are pretty intense energies. That 6 is the energy of impact. And in a positive and powerful way, it can be having influence over the world around you. And in the shadow, it can be forceful. It can be, impacting like a meteor. It certainly is one of the places where there's tension in the chart. And it's a tension that says, do I have enough? Am I enough? Is there enough? It's related deeply to the theme of sustainability. And in the shadow, or in the more primitive expression of this energy, if there is a perception of not enough, we go to the mat. We fight, right? We fight to get our fair share. So there can be an energy of fighting in this 6, in the shadow. In the high expression, it's an alignment. It's an alignment with, enoughness, with trusting in enoughness, with our capacity to know our enoughness enough to be able to share our enoughness because we know there's enough. The theme of enoughness really lives in this gate. And when we have enough, we can be part of sharing, contributing, sustaining. And when our inner perception is a perception of not enoughness, then we can fight or go into survival mode or gather more than our fair share and not share what we need to be sharing with the world. We talked a little bit about the energies, right? This is Virgo energy. We talked a little bit about the Pisces Virgo axis. I talked about the emotions of Pisces. I didn't talk about Virgo. Right? When we're looking at Virgo energy, we're looking at systematic, organizing, codifying energy. And these two energies that play together so beautifully, right? We've got this Piscean explosion of feelings, and then this Virgo that's like, okay, I see it. What can we do? How can we take all of this bigness, turn it into something systematic, some kind of approach that's going to foster our expansion and growth. It's going to give us a stable foundation. Of course, part of that stable foundation is being in the body, knowing what's truth. Another part of that foundation is your own inner sense of enoughness, right? The more we know we are enough, the more we have enough, the more we play in the energetic field of there is enough, I am enough, you are enough, we're all enough, there is enough, the more we stay in that field of creativity, and that becomes our energy, that becomes the foundation from which we construct the world, and we do it in this very Virgo organized way, then we can use that enoughness as a resource for ourselves and for each other. It becomes, think about how fertile is our creativity. And by the way, fertility lives in this channel with the Gate 6. How fertile is our creativity when it's grounded in enoughness? What are you going to create if you know you have enough, right? If you take that whole scarcity piece off the table and out of the equation, what we create is so different. And so there's an invitation this week from the sun to say, okay, if you were enough, if you had enough, if you trusted in enoughness, what would you create? What would you create? How different would it be? The earth, highlighting this gate 36, that's pattern disrupting energy. The 36 is all about breaking out into exploring and trying something new. It's emotional energy, right? It can be impulsive. It can be compulsive, but it's definitely this place where we're pushing out and trying the new. And really, it's a pattern shattering energy. And so the sun is saying, hey, let's look at enoughness. And the earth is saying, oh, and let's disrupt any patterns that you have that are rooted in not enoughness. Let's break it apart. And so I fully expect for all of us this week, because to a certain degree, Mercury is sort of playing along in the same energy field. We are going to all be exploring the question of our enoughness. And how does that impact the way in which we engage with the world? And how is that impacting what we create? And I want to encourage you to think about that in the context of your relationships, your physical health and wellness, your finances, anything that comes up for you, this week, and stuff's going to come up for you because this is healing energy. Eclipse energy is healing energy. Like I said, we're in this second of these sort of eclipses on this Piscean Virgo axis. We had our first one earlier this year. So go back and look at the spring and think about what came up for you in terms of stories and narratives and events, particularly around March, April. What came up for you around your enoughness? Did something happen this spring that made you have to go deep over the summer and really think about, wow, what's my inner sense of enoughness? Where do I need to heal that? You're going to get an opportunity to get a little bit of a do-over, certainly an opportunity to have that lesson reflected back to you again in your outer world, and certainly an opportunity to go deeper into recalibrating yourself for enoughness. Now, I could leave it at that because that's enough homework right there, right? That's enough homework right there. But I want to think about foundations. To me, Virgo is very foundational, right? This Virgo energy that we're getting into this Virgo solar eclipse, is very foundational. And the foundation, if you will, and it's playing actually very nicely also with Saturn and with Neptune, because we've got sort of a very nice sort of opposite energy playing out. The energy of Virgo is about building foundations, systems, putting things into place to stabilize whatever our next growth cycle is, right? We're in the harvest season of the year. We're coming to the end of the creative quarters, and we're actually in the middle of this creative quarter, but we're getting ready to sort of look ahead to what's next. What's next for us? We are getting ready to do the harvest and then prepare the field for next year. We have to have a strong and solid foundation. And this this Virgo eclipse, solar eclipse this weekend is really saying, okay, what's some of the primary foundational things that are happening in your life? What is the primary foundation of your creative capacity? And with this new moon, solar eclipse, highlighting the gate 46, we're being kind of invited by Virgo to get back into the body, right? It highlights the gate 46, the theme of embodiment. We're learning to get back, or being reminded, get back in your body, which is kind of where I started today, right? Get back into the body. What does your body need and want? It's certainly an energy that says, hold up, time out. Are you pushing so hard out of fear, out of worry, out of concern, out of a fear of not enoughness? Are you pushing so hard that you forgot to take care of yourself? You forgot to nurture your body, to take care of your body? That's one piece to look at, right? One piece to really pay attention to. What's your relationship with your body? Are you valuing your body? Do you believe that your body has enough, is enough? And is there something that your body is longing for and needs on a physical level to keep you restored and replenished and sustainable over time? Or are you pushing too hard? So finding that delicate balance between pushing and determination and creativity, and also pausing, and the sacredness of rest, and those rest seasons that are so complementary to creativity are essential. And certainly this new moon energy, this eclipse energy is reminding us, hey, where are you at with your relationship with your body? It's also the theme of embodiment, and certainly with Saturn highlighting the gate 25, the gate of higher purpose, Neptune highlighting the gate 25, the gate of higher purpose, all of these energies located in the G center, our heart, the heart of who we are, that direction giving energy that is responsible for setting the tone and the energetic environment that calls in things that match our story. Certainly, I would say that this energy is inviting you to look at, are you embodying your purpose? Are you actually walking your talk? Are you actually physically doing the things you need to do to fulfill your purpose? This isn't so much about doing your purpose. I want to be really clear, because when we look at where purpose lives in the chart, it's really more about being. Who do you need to be authentic? That's your purpose. There's literally no other purpose you have in the world, right? Your only purpose is to be yourself. And everything else that happens as a result of that, what you create, what you do, who you're in relationship with, all of that's just the cherry on top. Your story, fulfilling the full potential of the story of who you are, is your purpose. And when we do that, we actually serve our higher purpose, because that holds a frequency of energy that creates a force field of alignment with authenticity. And when we hold that energy, that's what not only we call in for ourselves, that's the influence we have. That's the impact that we have. That's our sun this week on the world around us. Because when we live true to ourselves, we basically give other people permission to do the same. We become the fulfillment of our purpose when we are true to who we are. And so we need to be healthy and strong in our body, and we need to be embodying who we are. We need to be exploring, how do I need to be aligned with my authentic self? Who do I need to become in order to be the fulfillment of my authentic self? The other piece that I just want to bring in with this energy is this energy, this new moon, solar eclipse energy, highlighting gate 46, is also this amazing, amazing opportunity for us to recalibrate ourselves towards our heart. 46 lives in the G center. The heart is a source of our intuitive wisdom. It is part of our creative energy, and it is our compass. It is the compass that lives in the body. There are more neurological wirings from the heart to the brain than there are from the brain to the heart. The heart actually is part of the brain. It's actually part of the brain that guides us without language, without thought. It bypasses reason. It gives us core, deep truths. And when we understand how to connect with the heart and turn it on and use it as a compass, it becomes a sacred source of direction for us. And it gives us oftentimes information when the head doesn't, when the head gets caught up in the details, or the head gets worried, or the head tries to figure it out. And really, when we talk about figuring out never works. There's not really any place in the chart where figuring out is the strategy, right? We know things through downloads. If we look at where knowingness lives in the chart, we know things through downloads. We know things through information dropping in, through epiphany. That was the last season and cycle in the eclipse, right? When we look at the gate 46, the gate 46 is reminding us your heart has the answer. And if you don't know how to connect with that, it's pretty quick and pretty easy. It's pretty easy to drop into the wisdom of the heart. And I'm going to give you a 3-step technique. Number 1, and we'll do it together right now. Close your eyes and take some nice long deep breaths and put your hand over your heart and see if you can feel your heart beating in the palm of your hand. And just feel that heartbeat, that rhythmic connection to the compass of your life. And while you have your eyes closed and you're feeling and connecting with your heart, I want you to think of one thing. It doesn't have to be big. One thing that you're grateful for. Think of one thing that you're grateful for. Gratitude is the fastest, quickest way to connect us to the heart. Gratitude is focusing for the heart, and it focuses the heart on the answers you're seeking. So think of one thing that you're grateful for. And now ask your heart. You can ask your heart any question that you want. Ask your heart a question. We can start with, my heart, what do I need to do? What does my body need to stay nurtured and nourished? What does my body need to stay nurtured and nourished? And I'll give you just a minute to listen. And don't be discouraged if you don't get a long laundry list. The heart usually gives you one short, quick message. What does my body need to stay nourished? And write down what you got. If you want to, if you're watching this on Facebook, post below. What answers did you get? And you can use that technique anytime. That's really, it's a great technique to really call in and practice using with this eclipse season. If we get up here or we get into survival mode and we start panicking, we're reading the news or we're reading the internet or whatever is going on, and we get overloaded and overwhelmed and we start to shut down, or we go into freeze mode or we go into panic mode, we can't be creative in those modes. We can't navigate forward when we're in a reactive state. Pausing, taking deep breaths, connecting with the heart and your heartbeat, staying in gratitude, and then asking your heart for direction is a powerful way to stay connected to what's my next right step. What do I need to do? Where do I need to put my energy and attention? What do I need to focus on right now in this season where things feel so uncertain? So I will say eclipse energy is always intense, right? It was certainly, I don't know how it is for you all, but I've had a very intense couple of weeks. It's a season where sometimes it can feel like the rug gets pulled out from under your feet, and you think you're headed this way and all of a sudden you're headed that way. And if that's your experience, that's not unusual. And it's not anything that you've done or done wrong. It's that, think of eclipse energy as a curriculum. It's a curriculum. It's a recalibration. And so we're getting this really profound recalibration. And this recalibration is reminding us to cultivate and curate high frequency emotional states. That's called faith. And curate for yourself a deep inner and outer environment that supports self-love, self-care, self-nurturing, the preciousness of who you are in this world. And remember that the more you live aligned with your authentic self, the more support, the more everything good you call in. That's your only purpose. Be yourself. Be yourself. And so while we go through this curriculum and this pretty intense, disruptive season that we're in, just connect with your heart and be yourself. And join us today at 11 o'clock Central. We will be, for the next 3 days, talking about using human design as a parenting tool to either parent your own children, to take care of your parents, to take care of yourself, you're a grandparent, take care of your grandkids. If you're an educator, join us. You're going to learn a lot of really powerful information. You're going to walk away with some really deep insights about not only yourself, but how to go out and serve the world from a more loving, more aligned, more authentic place. Thank you for being with me here this morning. Have a really great week. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you all next week.